how the partitions has been designed in the traditional databases and how traditional data warehouses, then something how Snowflake is manages internally. There is a way how Snowflake manages data. The way how traditional data warehouse manages data is completely different. First of all, before going to that, okay, there is an important concept all of you need to understand is something called as an index. Okay. Do one thing. First, we'll try to understand the data. Okay. Data of your table. Example, you have a call data records. Example, you have calling your CD calls, call data record, CDR we call. What is it meaning call data records? In telecom word, whenever you do a call, the call A number, this call data record. What it will have, A number is a number from where you originate, B number is where this ends, and other information such as network information, duration information, all the information will be there. Okay. Example, take a example of a CDR, call data recording. Okay. For the customer one, he can have 100 or 25. Example, customer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 we have. Okay. Customer makes first call. Okay. And second makes call, third makes a call. Again, customer first one makes multiple calls. Again, two might be making some more calls. And there will be a customer service. So again, customer one making call like this. There is a lot many calls happening. Lot many calls are happening for the different customers. It has other attributes such as which is the destination number. Is it an international calling or local calling? What is the tariff? What is the duration? Other the information we will be having. Don't worry about it. Now, I wanted to know all the call data for. Guys, I'm telling you these concepts may not be practically you use it in your you cannot use it in your day-to-day work. But without understanding these concepts, you cannot answer interviews because in interviews they ask what is a partition. In the layman words, they ask what is a cluster, what is vertical scaling, horizontal scales. You will never see practically in front of your eyes how Snowflake manages the clusters. No, you cannot. How vertical scaling happens, horizontal scaling happens, hybrid scaling happens. You cannot, but people expect you to know these concepts in interview. Without knowing these concepts, you will not able to answer the question. That's what I'm saying. Maybe I'm not able to show them practically because I have no choice to show how vertical scaling can be done, horizontal. But these concepts are very important. They will check your internal knowledge, how Snowflake is working. Don't take it as lightly. As see, web UI and whatever madam is teaching is very high level topics that nobody asks you in interview. I'm not saying that you should not learn. That is also very important because that is what you are going to do and day in, day out. What madam is teaching, they are from the real-time task you are going to do day in, day out. But in interviews are different dimension. That means in interview, nobody asks those questions. How do you load the data? No. How to create a role? Nobody asks. They ask, what is the meaning of a scaling? What is the meaning of a clustering? What is the purpose of using indexes? What is the meaning of partitions, subpartitions, micro partitions? Interview questions is always comes from my classes, what I'm doing. That's what I'm saying. Morning, 30 people are joining. Evening, 15 people are joining. We are not going to lose anything. Only loser is you. Okay. Please make it yourself very clear. If you are missing the class, you are the loser. That's it. Now, this is the data you have. In the imagine I have 25 customers. Imagine I have a 25 customers. Or Airtel you take in Bangalore, we have an around 10 lakhs customers. 10 lakhs customers. Approximately, I do call by daily 6 calls, correct? So what is the daily average calls? Average calls per day, 60 lakhs. So this like call data record will be created per day 60 lakhs. Okay. On a monthly, how many? 1 lakh 8, 1,000, 180 lakhs records will be created, correct? And yearly into 12, there is a billions of records will be created. Imagine this is the volume of data we're talking about. I'm still talking about very small amount of data because their call data, like the customer base is very huge. Just imagine we have 10 lakhs customers. Daily they're making 60 calls on a given average day. How many calls we're making out? Total calls? 60 lakhs records are being generated in this manner. I wanted to find all the call details for customer one. What happens? How do you find it? You need to read all the records by record by record by. Imagine you have 60 lakhs records. To find one customer information where customer data is equal to one, how many records we are reading? How many records to be read?
60 lakhs.
60 lakhs.
60 lakhs.
That is your full table scan. Reading one time full of your table, all the records you are of table, reading, very, very important concept. FTS we call. FTS is full table scan. What is the meaning of a full table scan? Reading entire tables for once is called one FTS. One full table scan required to find, because you may have the first customer data or the first record. Sometimes we never know where your customer data is present. You may be beginning of the day or middle of the day or end of the day. We never know. We need to scan every data of your table. That is called full table scan. It is very expensive. Why? It is expensive when your data size is very high. Your table size is very high. Example, I'm talking the still data is very less. Imagine you have in Bangalore itself. In Bangalore itself, I believe there will be 50 lakhs people are subscribed for Airtel. Okay, average the calls records will be now per day 300 lakhs, correct? 30 lakhs. 300 lakhs of those records will be presented or created on regular basis. To find one particular customer, how many records I need to read? These many records I need to scan, and I look for whether this call data record is for customer 1 or 2. I wanted to look for two customers, like customer ID is equal to 1, 2, 3. How many scans I need to do? How many times I need to scan my table?
3 times.
3 times we need to. Okay. 3 times you need to make. What is the round like? How many rounds you need to do? One time you need to read 3 lakhs records. We'll make it as 5 lakhs, or I don't know what is the minimum thing I should keep. Okay, 30 lakhs. Okay, 30 lakhs. So for one record, we are searching for 30 lakhs records. Again for customer 2, I am searching for why I need to do, because first I look for all the customer 1 information. Second time I look for all customer 2 information. Third I'm looking for customer 3 information to find all the customer data belong to 1, 2, 3. So this is called full table scan. Full table scan is very, very, very expensive. I'll make it very simple example. I think recently I told this one of I think for other students. Example, you have an Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, how many pages it has? I don't know, maybe 1,000 pages. You take an example of 1,000 pages. I will say that, okay, I wanted to find a particular topic. Topic is war day 22 in Bhagavad Gita, the Mahabharata war day 22. What you have to do? How do you find this topic in your Bhagavad Gita? You given you the book Mahabharata book. It has 1,000 pages. I'll ask you to find a particular topic. What happens on a day? Really, Mahabharata, how many days war happens? 21 days, not 22 days, correct? How many days that war happened?
22.
22, huh? Really?
Yes,
21.
yes, sir.
21, I
22,
think.
sir.
22, huh? Okay. I want to know what happens on day 22. Then how do you find the topic?
We check in the index page.
You find the index page. You're not going to read from the beginning, yes? Reading from beginning till end of the book is called full read of your table or full read of your book. Is it easy or it is very tedious job?
It is.
Tedious,
Very tough,
because unnecessarily things you need to read, starting from Pandavas, Kauravas, Krishna, that happens, this happens, this, and war 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you arrive at the day 22. But you never know, after there is some pages where also there is a reference for war number 22. But unnecessarily you're reading the content that you're not interested to. That's the reason what they have done very nicely. They created you an indexes on your book, correct? Nobody reads complete book. Reading a complete book is equivalent to your full table scan. It is very expensive in nature because it's a very resource consumption action. Okay, in this case, we are using an indexes in the beginning of your pages, correct? Let me show that if you have, I think I have some books to show. I don't know where. Okay, maybe I have some documents I usually read. I read not now, maybe I don't know. Mm, okay, PLC go. Okay, this is something. Okay, what I do, I wanted to find a topic. I wanted to find a topic. What I do, this is something we use your index pages to find your. This is your index pages, correct? If at all I wanted to know, if at all I wanted to know exceptions, I scan my exceptions here. See, look at here, page number 129. I go to page number 129. There I find my particular topic, correct? Exception handling. If this index, if this index pages are not present, then what you are going to do? You have to read entire book of how many times you need to read, God knows. Okay. So this pages is about how many pages it has. Let's see. 1299 pages. I need to read every time, every new topic I wanted to find. I need to read the complete pages of this, where I have to come across all unnecessary things. This is very expensive. Yes. If I say I need to know the indexes 129, go and read it in 129, then my life is easy. I just find it whatever I want it. Correct? That's the beautiful of pages or index pages in your book. That's same way. All databases can also use a concept called an index for the faster retrieval of the data. Okay, how it works, let's see. Okay, as you understand, what is a full table scan? Full table scan happens when you need to find a particular data entire of your table, that is called your full table scan. It is very expensive in nature because you need to read every record of the table. Imagine you have 1 billion records or 1 million records, 10 lakhs records. Every time scanning 10 lakhs records is really a tough job. As you sit here, reading this 1200 pages every time is very expensive or very tedious task. That's the reason beautifully this author has created the index pages. Index pages are like what? Lookup tables. Using this, you can find a particular topic, calling Java from PL SQL. I just go here and I start reading it. I don't need to read from the beginning to top. Same thing, there is a concept in a database where we can index each column value. Okay, example, I remove all those things. Example, what I do is, I usually I search data based on two things. One is customer ID. This is my column. And when the call date, when the call has been done. What is the call date? Example, all this call has been done on 22nd, 24th February. So I can have this call data has been done. That means I can read the data mostly on two aspects. One is based on the customer. This is called reading patterns. We call them how I read my data from the database. Okay. This is my reading pattern. Either use where clause like come on, what happened? Either I use where clause like where cust ID is equal to 1, or I say I want to see all the call record for given date. This is my access patterns. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to index to this column customer ID. I am going to create an index on the column called customer ID. Why I have to index? Because frequently I am going to look for these values within the table. What happens when you create an index is, example, it stores what it is contains your index pages in your book. What it contains?
Page numbers.
Page
Only
numbers
page numbers or what? Only page
and
numbers
the
it has, or
descriptions. Contents of the
description
And page
along
number,
with
sir.
the content along with your page number. What
Yes.
happened here also same thing. So example, when I create an index on the customer number 1, it is going to store the column values. What is the column value? Customer ID column is 1, along with the address of a record within a table. Example, this is a record number 1, 2. There is something called row ID concept we have in Oracle. It shows you the full address of your records within the table. Example, as of now, you imagine this is an address of a record within your database. For customer ID1, where are the row IDs? This is your row ID. Means row ID is your address of a record within the table. Where are the one or their row IDs? What are row IDs for a customer number 1? 1, then
1, 6,
6,
7,
7,
8,
8, 9,
9,
15, 16.
15, 16.
15, 16. Okay. Now, if at all I wanted to read, I wanted to know the customer data 1. Should I read the complete table scan or use an index? I'm going to use an index. Here I have a full address of what are the values for the, what are the rows for the customer number 1. This is called index lookup. I don't know how many of you are able to understand, but this is a wonderful topic. This is reading a data from, see guys, again I'm taking a pause. I send you a lot of YouTube videos to watch. Why I do is your foundation has to be very, 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 very strong. No, see, interview is one thing, like I know the what job you're going to do at the end of the day is only SQL or something. But when it comes to interview, they check your foundation very deep, I'm afraid that none of you are prepared for the interview because I sent so many videos, nobody react to that. You just ignore it saying that is not for me. Then why I'm sending in the group? At least acknowledge that I watched it, I like it, I did not like it, or understood or did not understood. I keep on sending so many YouTubes. Nobody respond to that. That's why you are not fit to be data engineers. I'm telling you, you have to find something else. Really. Until unless you show that appetite to learn new things daily, you're not supposed to be data engineers. I'm telling you, everyone here. Show that empathy towards to me, saying that yes, I watched it, I liked it, I understood, did not understood. So that I also get motivated daily what these guys are doing, what I should do next. I'm sending it. After 2 days, I also see no reaction to it. Go to hell, I cannot help you guys. Okay, you lose two things. One is money and your time. Money, you can get it back some reason, but nobody gives your time back. I'm telling you. I don't know. That's I'm afraid of taking an example because your foundation is not so strong because you have never watched the videos I sent. Anyway, reading the data from the table completely without looking of index pages is called full table scan. What does FTS stand for? Full table scan. Reading out from the index is called index scan. So what I'm going to do, I'm scanning. When I say I write a select statement, need all the data from the CDR, call data. Example, this is a query pattern I have. Select star from CDR, call data records where cust ID is equal to 1. Instead of reading from the table, because reading from the, sorry, hello, what is it?
Sorry, sir, by mistake.
Okay, so instead of reading from the table, what I'm going to do, instead of reading directly from the book, I have to use a lookup table. I'm going to use a lookup table. That lookup table we call them an index. What is an index? Index is a kind of a lookup table which has column values along with the address of a row IDs. Column values means what? Actually column. Let's create a what is the index value looks like for the record number 2. Yes, record number 2 is presented to 2. Where else it has again a 10. That's it. Correct. Now record number 3, where it is having record number 3. See, this is where I'm indexing the columns. So where is the index value? 3 is there. 3 is there. Then where else? Nowhere. Correct. Nowhere. Again, 2 is in multiple places. It has at 2 and 11. Okay, what is index contains? Index contains a column of the values along with the row IDs. Row IDs represents a address of a record within the database. Now, I wanted to find all the records of customer number 1. Should I read complete table? No, I should not, because reading entire table 30 lakhs records very expensive. Instead of this, I'm going to find out what are your present records within the table. Using this, I just do a lookup. Lookup means here go and find it out what is there. This is your address of a road. Yes, go find it out what is happening. 16. It will not. How you jump? Your jumping is here using the page number. You jump into the particular topic. Yes, correct. You are jumping into the particular topic. Here you are jumping into the particular rows to read the particular data. You are skipping the full table scan. You are skipping the full data, full book read. You're using index. Same way, you are skipping the full table scan using your index. Got it? What is the index scan?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Okay.
Yes.
So example I do here one more thing here insert. You have a calling number or called number. You call destination. Destination. Even I just indexed on the customer destination could be Bangalore. I just give an example. Gujarat or I don't know, like Mysore. I don't know the places in Gujarat, fine. So when I say all the call records are made to all the call records are made to the destination is equal to Bangalore, will index will be used?
we can use
I
that.
not created index on the Bangalore, like column called destination, correct? Index will not be used. Okay. Index will not be used because what is an index being used? Index being used on the customer. How to create index is very simple command. Create an index. Create an index. Index name we need to give. I just say IDX and cust of the any column name I'm using the cust ID. You need to specify the table name followed by the column name. This is the syntax of creating an index in the traditional data warehouses or databases. Just hold on a minute. I'll open my Oracle database. Okay. It takes a time. It's loading, it will take a time, but I want to show that something, whether index will be used or not. I want to show that how it looks like. Just give me some time. Where is my SQL developer gone? Now, I don't know where it is. Downloads here. Had my type. Hold on, I'm just checking my, where is my SQL developer? Oh, I think I removed somehow my SQL files. Okay. Next class, probably I'll show, I don't know where it is gone. I will show how the index scans looks like, but I removed my SQL developer. Okay. I'll show you tomorrow, but as of now, you understood what is the use of indexes. Any question here? What is an index? What is a full table scan?
So this
What
type
is
of
full
index
Sir,
data will be stored in data like that.
in a?
This type of index data will be stored in data lake, right?
Yes, where you keep the data in tables, automatically it creates. See, you are not to see the moment you issue this command.
Okay.
You are saying that please create an index on the customer table column called customer ID. It is going to, you cannot see this data. This is a metadata. You cannot see internally. This is how it manages the table. This is how you created indexes here in the beginning of your pages. Like that, database is also maintain the index pages as it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Clear? Any question here? What is the advantage of what is the index and how it will improve the performance? Anyone want to answer? What are indexes? How it improves the performance of what is the performance? Performance is the easiest way or the quickest way we read the data from the tables is called performance. How indexes or helps increase the performance? Anyone want to answer?
It reduces the time.
Reduce the time.
Less time consumed.
How it will reduce the time? Yes, it reduces the time. How?
By adding the index.
Yeah, adding
index having
index
a
will reduce the time. How? Indexes are like a lookup tables. It increases the performance by avoiding the full table scan.
It
Yes,
will
it
directly go and check the row ID and
get the data. We
get
need to
the
use a word called it avoids a full table scan. Indexes are helpful in avoiding the full table scan. Full table scans are very expensive because, yes, if table is small, example, this is a table, then why do I need an index? It's very easy to read from this table directly. But imagine your table is so big. Example, I'm staying in a village where we have only 20 houses. Finding me there in that village is very easy because we have only 20 houses. You do need a postal code for that? Or you need an street name or house number for that? Doesn't require. You have only 20. Come to Bangalore, come to Hyderabad, come to Ahmedabad, where definitely need your full postal address like house number, door number or apartment number, floor, house number, street number, area pin code, area, main road, then state, everything you need. This is like your postal address, where it has a full address where this data is sitting in your database. See, I'm just giving a row ID 1, 2, 3, 4, but a row IDs will not be like this. It has an hexadecimal number. It has a full information where this data is sitting in your database. Instead of looking for your database, it goes and find. I'll give a simple example again. Okay, you have a big room, like you have a big house like this. Okay, this is your room number 1, room number 2, room number 3, okay, 4, 5, 6, and 8. I keep the pen here. I kept the pen here. Okay. So imagine you don't have any rooms. It is your just a big house. I need to find a pen. Where do you need to find a pen? You need to search entire of your house to find the pen. If at all I created a small partitions or index like this is a room 1, room 2, room 3, room 4, and room 5. Where is my data? I say it is in a room 5, you go and find it out. You are avoiding other rooms to search. The same way is here. When you create an index, it creates column values. It stores the column values along with an row IDs. Row IDs are full address of a record within the database. It is goes and fetches. So when I say here customer number is equal to 1, it will look only for these rows. How many rows you need to look for? Here it has a full details. It will avoid reading all these records from the table. It just goes and pick those record from the table. Got it? How indexes are held? Indexes are kind of a lookup tables. It has a column values along with the row IDs. Row IDs represent full address of a record. Indexes are increase the performance by avoiding the full table scan. This is your definition. Any question?
Sir, can we use row ID for the destination?
Destination is your destination is you need to create one more index for that. That's it. Of course, that's what I'm said here. You are going to create an indexes based on your access access pattern. Example, I wanted to find all the data call record for particular day. Then you are going to create an index for that column. You should not create index for every column. I'll tell you why later on. Okay, this is your call date. We're saying here call date. Okay. Based on your access pattern, how we are reading the data from the table, only those columns should be indexed. Got it? So what happens if I have a 20 columns? Example, duration of the call. Okay. I index every column. What happens? See, first is this does not come free. You understand here, it uses some amount of storage, correct? See, index pages also uses some of your pages, correct? It is also occupied some spaces here. Look at your index pages. It also has page number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So many pages it contains. It does not come free. 15 pages. Index itself has 15 pages, I think here. Okay, look at here. Since it is a book, it has index itself is around 15 pages. Like that, based on your distinct values, how many customer you have, distinct customer you have, how so much of space it will also occupies your index, because this is a metadata information about the information. It also needs some space. Disadvantage of an index is as a table stores the data, it also stores the data. What stores the data? It contains the column values along with the row ID. It also requires some space. Next example. There is another record has been made by customers 1 on the next day, that is 25th February. What happens to index? What happened to index? Index should also get updated. For every DML operation, index has to be updated. Otherwise, index becomes stale. What is that meaning? If you do not have this 17 record update in your index, what will happen when I say customer number is equal to 1? Will this record will be retrieved? No, because index does not have it. So whenever you do a DML operations on a table, what are your DML operations?
Insert,
delete.
update,
Data
delete.
manipulating
Data
language.
manipulation language. The consequences is every index has to be updated. Every index has to be updated. See, I also have an index on, call data. Okay, 24 Feb. It has all the call records. Example, it has the data from 1 to 16, correct? Because I have all the data for February is 1 to 16. It's not like 116. It has every entry like this till 16. Correct? Now 25th, I'm creating an index for the call data. 25th February is again one more index will be created. It will be having a 17. See, now I inserting one data into table. How many indexes are getting updated? If I have two indexes, how many index will get updated? Two index will get updated, correct? One is our call data index should also get updated, correct? And this your index is based on which column this is? Customer ID, correct? This is an consequences or a override on the table is for every DML operation, all your indexes has to be manipulated. Got it? I'm just inserting one example. You have 4 indexes, all the 4 has to be manipulated. Otherwise, data becomes stale. Index has to be continuously keep updating whenever you do. Example, I'm going to delete this record. Then what happened when you delete this record? This value should also be deleted from the index. Otherwise, it is going to read this data where from the 6 and 7. This data should also be removed from your index. Got it? So the disadvantages of indexes is one is the increase of performance by avoiding the full table scan. Other than the disadvantage is they create a slowness during the DML operation because every DML operation on the table leads into updation of all your indexes. Got it? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ?
Yes, sir. Sir, ಈ
Yes,
ತರ
sir.
ಇವಾಗ ನಾವು ಇಂಡೆಕ್ಸ್
ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ
for
ಕೇಳಪ್ಪ,
example,
ನೋ
sir,
ಕನ್ನಡ.
yes, sir. Sir, as you said here, there is a two type of indexes you prepared. But when come to the different partition, how many index it will come, sir?
Partitions are not gone still. I still am there in the index.
No, sir. Here I said you made a two option, sir. One is call data and customer ID. Like how many types of indexes will come, sir?
Based on your
In
access
different...
pattern, that's what I'm saying. Based on how you read the data. Example, if you use the select star from the CDR where destination is equal to Bangalore, both the indexes are not used because these indexes doesn't have this data, correct? Again, what happens in this case? What kind of
Again,
steps will be done?
location.
Full table scan.
FTS.
This
This index doesn't have, there is no index on the destination column. What are the indexes I have created? Based on the customer ID and the call data. If you're choosing any column that is not being indexed, again the same raga, it is going to do a full table scan. Got it?
Yes, sir.
It's how many indexes you are creating. It's completely depend how you read this data. I'm reading the data based only on the customer ID. Then I'm going to create only on the customer ID column. This column will be indexed. Any chance I wanted to do this based on the call data, I'm going to use the call data. We can also create a composite index, something like that. For given day, for given customers, how we can create is mixer of both. Mixture of both is first ID, comma. It has a pairs of both. How it will be having? It will be having a data like this. 24th Feb. Which is the ID it will be having? 1. What are this 24th Feb will be there here is this combination of customer ID and the date will be included in your index. This is something we can do composite index, but as of now, don't worry about it. Try to understand the simple index, how it is working. This is a very common question. I create an index on the customer ID. I am filtering the data based on the destination. Will it use index or not?
Can you repeat it, sir?
I created index on the customer ID.
Yeah.
Correct? But I'm
Yes, sir.
filtering the data based on the destination. Will it use index?
No, sir.
No, sir.
It
Sir.
will not. Yeah. Because index is only here on the customer ID and the call data. If you try to use the destination, these values are not present in your any of the index. What is an option it will choose to read the data?
Full table
Full
scan.
table scan. It is again very expensive in nature. But we have to be very, very careful what columns to be indexed. What columns usually index? Example say here, select star from EMP where department number is equal to 10. Okay, select star from EMP where employee is. So usually columns that are used in a where class are indexed. Example, this is where I am using the filter classes. These columns are indexed. Only those columns are, otherwise you have an employee table, all your 8 columns are indexed. What will happen? The moment you do any DML operation, all the 8 indexes has to be manipulated. It's very, 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 very expensive and it slow down your operations. Okay. You do not index all the pages, all the columns, sorry. Clear? Any question here?
No, sir.
Sir, indexes should be created before the DML operations, right, sir?
Yes.
Oh.
You can also create,
But
let
it will,
me,
it
yeah,
will
it
take
will, but it will update. It will update itself. I don't know, like I need to go back to, sorry, hold on a minute. I had this one, SQL developer. Somehow I deleted recently. Just hold on, I'll show how, but you cannot see how you create the data, how you read the employee data from the table. You cannot read the data from the index. Okay. Only you can make out the, okay, hold on. Let me adjust creating a temporary table.
not like that, sir. My question is like, if we created a table and did some DML operations, and
Yeah, if
later
you
we
create an
created
index,
a
it will
index,
update.
means
Well,
it will not update before
no,
whatever
it
we
will
do.
update. It will update. It will create an index with all the available values at that point.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay. So let's try to do this. Okay. Let me share my screen once again. I will show the example, okay, how we can create an index and all. First, because before going to partitions, we should know what is the use of index and why indexes also will not help at one point. Okay. Do one thing. Okay. Create table test. I just use an ID. Okay. I will load 1,000 records into this table. Okay. Or 10,000 records. I will load into this table. Anyone, what we can do is insert into test. Okay, select. Just to hold on, row number from dual. Row number is not equal to 1,000. I just want to know, can I generate dual?
DL, sir.
Double D.
Double D.
It is giving only one record. Huh? Not incrementing. Okay. I just do one thing. I'll teach you what there is level concept. Connect by level. Connect by, I don't know. Okay, I'll do one PL SQL block. Hold on. I just write it using small block of code where I can begin. I'll use a loop to generate the numbers. Don't worry about this. Okay. As I said, I know multiple languages. So I use some language that you may not be understand now. So I'll insert this value into, I'm just using a block of code that will generate the number, and I'm inserting into test table. Okay. Now I just run this, the table will get such a big number of data. Okay, it has been processed. Now I go and check out what is there in test table. Where test from it has all of your records. Whatever you inserted, it will have all the records. Hold on. Checking SQL plan in live SQL. I want to show you that exactly how we can include query statistical icon. Yeah, just use the script. Hold on. Plan table you have to create. Hold on. I'll just show this how what happens. Then after creating index, what happened? I want to show that. Don't worry. This is something you need to understand how indexes will help. Okay, this is something it will internally use to capture your data. Okay, next is we need to generate the plan. Exclaim and select. Okay. 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 So I'll just write here data from the table, test table. What are the table I use? The test table is select star from the test table where what is that? ID is equal to 10. Okay, and then I generate. I will explain. Don't worry. I'm just checking my sync here. Okay. 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 What is it is here? Operations. What is does? What is the operation is performed to read the data?
Full table.
Full table
Table scans.
Full table.
Full table
Operation
scan.
is full table. Okay. Hold on.
Access.
It should also show the cost and all. It is not showing the cost. Hold on. Position, additional information. Okay. So what is an operation they used to read the data from this table? See, what I've done is I just read the table. This is select star from test table. I'm making this as a statement as a Tokyo. Some test I can give. Test statement or whatever you want, you can give. I'm going to use this statement to find what is my execution path looks like. What is your execution path looks like? Table access full. Means what is it meaning? It is going to read the full tables to get your data out. Correct? That's what the full table. Now I'm going to create an index. Index is on what column? ID column I'm going to create. Look at very simple. Create index. Okay, index name I can give anything like test. Whatever you want, you can give it on test table of ID column. Okay. It says missing right parentheses. Okay. Now index has been created. I am going to regenerate the plan. Example Tokyo 1. I want to see now how my index or how I'm going to read this data for the select star from that table. Okay, first I'm going to use generate the plan. Plan is like what it is going to use inside. Okay, now I want to see what it is being used to read this data. What is using now?
Scan.
Index scan. Correct. Don't worry, there is a different range scan and skip scan and all. But you see here index scan being turned out from the full table scan. Correct? Correct or not? So we created an index. I created an index on a particular column ID. The moment I start using an ID is equal to 1. What is the SQL I'm used here? ID is equal to 10. It is going to read the data from your index. See, it is showing what to read this data, what kind of an operation being used. It is going to use your index scan. Got it? So it is avoiding, see, I have a big table. How many big tables have? The table is very big, my table is a lot of data I have. I inserted 10,000 records or 1 lakh records. So it has so many records. Reading this data from this table, reading one by one is very expensive. That's the reason I created an index. After creating an index, you can see to such kind of an operations where index is equal to, sorry, ID is equal to 1, what operation it is performing is, it is using the index scan. My only option is I want to show is, instead of using the full table set, it is started using the index scan. Got it? How indexes are helping. The moment index is being used, definitely you are not reading the full table scan. Definitely you are not reading the full book. Reading a full book is your full table scan, avoiding creating such kind of an indexes. Got it? See, after reading the loading, someone asked the question, correct? After loading, see, indexes will not be created before writing the book. Please understand that. First, they write a book, they organize the topic, then index pages will be created. Same way here, first data is be loaded. Once data is be loaded, I created an index. Index will automatically, the moment you create an index, it will have all the column values and the address of it. But as you see the data, you cannot read the value from the index. Index is a metadata you cannot access. Got it? Got it, guys?
Sir, in the
Yes, sir.
index data, can we check? I mean, in the table, can we see that index? I mean,
The
sir,
table, you cannot see that.
like in
How you see the table, you cannot see the index.
okay.
This way you want to see. No, that's what I'm saying. You cannot see this. What it contains, you cannot see. That is only used by the database to retrieve the data. You cannot manipulate it. Only manipulation is you need to do the manipulation on the table. Index will automatically get updated. I want you to know, all of you, the 4 or 5 terminologies. What is the meaning of the full table scan? Anyone, please? What is the meaning of full table scan?
It reads
To
the
find
whole
the
row
data,
of table.
full
We'll
table
go
will be
through the
scanned.
each row.
Going through,
Scanning the full table for
yeah,
one
very good.
record.
Scanning the full table, scanning or reading full
Full
table
table.
for particular
One particular
information
record.
reason. It is always not true that it is very expensive, because if this is a small data, here you don't need an index. Index also not required, because you need to scan only 25 records, 20 records. But in this reading, if you are reading using index, it is slow down, because I better read out everything from here when you have a small data. Index does not. Index is very overhead here. I have to look for here and here. Double lookup. When it is useful, when your table data is very large, that is where it is useful. But your table itself is a very small. In this case, it does not use index. Even though you create index, it will not use index. It just say everything I read it from here. Here, your book is only 1 page. Then why you need an index? It is required index if you have a book of 10 pages or 5 pages.
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
If having a multiple topics means then we require. If it is in 10 pages where they have a multiple topics means then we require index.
Okay.
It is in a single page or 2 pages means not required.
Not required, because it is a overhead again. Simply you need to look for the index page, then you have to look for the table. That is a overhead. So whenever tables are very small, you should not use the index. It will not use the index. Okay. So one thing is, I wanted to summarize quickly. FTS, scanning or reading a full table for particular information, is a full table scan. Okay. What is an index?
Avoiding
Kind
the
of
FTS.
lookup table.
It's a lookup table. What it will contain?
Column of the
Address.
IDs and row IDs.
Contains the column values. What column
And row
values? Column values and the row IDs. Column values of column. Column values of the column where it is created. Example, if I create a index ID on the customer, it has contained the column values along with the row IDs. Okay. Okay, along the row ID. Okay, how index help performance? How index helps performance? Anyone?
By avoiding
It avoids the full table scan and it
Very good.
reduces the
Avoids
Time
FTS.
consuming.
Yes. Time is less because it avoids the full table scan by using values within index. Okay. What are the disadvantage of indexes?
It takes more
After
storage.
DML operations, it will take time.
Yeah,
Whatever.
time. First is it also takes
Time and
takes
storage.
space, storage, very good. And slow downs DML
Process.
operations. Correct. Imagine every operation has to be updated. Example, you have a 10 indexes, you indexed all of them. Manipulate something, all the indexes has to be manipulated. Very got it, my understanding. You have a 20 columns in a table. Every column you indexed. Adding one record, what will happen eventually? Your 20 indexes has to be keep updating, otherwise index becomes stale. Stale means invalid. Then whatever you do on the table, it is going to do full table scan. That's the reason database keep updating the indexes for every DML operation. It's very good. Next one is what we are doing. How to create an indexes. I given an example. What other question we'll usually ask is what columns are usually indexed? What column will use index? Columns used in where?
Where condition.
Customer ID.
Where condition, or sometimes example you are joining like this. Employee number EMP dot department number is equal to DPT dot department. This is also filter happens where clause or joining columns.
Joining.
Okay, joining columns. These are the two usually patterns we use to create an indexes. Got it? What happens? Okay, that's fine. So this is our indexes, how it is helping. It's very high level of topic. Okay, I want to talk still more about what happens if your example, this is only 1,200 and 1,219 pages. Example, this book itself is 20,000 pages. Okay, then index pages, this itself for the book of 1,200. See, index also very expensive. I want to look for the cursors. Where is the cursor definitions? Okay. I need to look at here. Since the index itself is a very big one, I need to reading an index itself is a time consuming for me, correct? So I need to find where the topic for the cursors. Still not found. Still not found. String numbers, dates, timestamps, records collection. This is my favorite book, guys. I read it for 10 times. That's why I keep it. I read it this 10 times. 1,200 lines books. I read it for 10 times. You can tell me, sir, are you such a, you know, dumb guy doesn't understand reading one time? Every time you read it, I interpret it in different way. Every time I read it, my understanding is different. It is like a Bhagavad Gita for me. So that I know each topic. This is my favorite topic, but nobody uses this in PL SQL in the real world. Okay. So if at all someone love to learn PL SQL, come to me. I'll make you like anything. Triggers, I don't know where the cursor is. I don't know why they're not mentioned. Cursor. Cursor topic is not there. Huh? Yeah, it is there everywhere. Okay. I don't know. Where is the index is not being created for the cursor? I don't know why. Anyway, what happens if you are trying to, your book itself is so big, your index pages is so big, what happens? Will you gain the performance or not? Example, this book is 1,200 pages, your index pages is 10 pages, correct? It's still an overhead because to find a particular topic, still how many pages you need to read?
10 pages.
10 pages.
10 pages.
Imagine this bookcom is exponentially 10 times. How many pages you need to read? For 1200, 10 index pages. For 12,000, it will be 100 pages. So index will efficient in that case.
No, sir.
No, because
sir.
every topic you need to read 100 page. Your index itself is not helpful when you are dealing with a large amount of big data. The concept we call big data. The Snowflake is all about big data. Data you cannot imagine, guys. I think none of you are getting a sense of that how much data volume you deal. Daily billions of. That's why it called the 3 V's. Velocity, volume. What is the other V? Variety. We call big data as the 3 V's. Variety is the JSON data, structured data, video data, audio data, all data. Then velocity, the speed in which it comes, and volume of the data, the quantum of the data it comes. Okay, 3 V's. So traditional databases, data warehouse cannot handle that, because you imagine the page is 1,000, 12,000 pages, index pages with 100 pages. Will it help? The indexes is going to help. It's not going to help. Then how to manage this? This is where the big data solutions has come up. Snowflake is also one of the big data solutions. That's where we created the partitions. So I'll stop it here. As of now, try to understand the traditional database structure where how indexes are helpful. Are you getting confusion, conclusion? Will indexes are help? Indexes are help only when mid-scale databases and you have created very do intelligently. It's not like every column should be indexed. Only you have to index column that are being used in your where clauses. Clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So any questions, please let me know. No questions. Okay. Good. Everything understood. Okay. So I posted this. Keep that data with you. I'm not going to send it again. So whatever I